shortcut that you can pull out whenever the situation is right. Even if you are talented, you can't succeed without having great habits. You don't need to lose weight, you need better eating habits, and then your weight will always be around where you want it to be. You don't need more money, you just need better financial habits, and then you'll always have enough money to manage the thing that comes up. You can be the architect of your habits rather than the victim of them. A lot of the time people talk about, I want to have more money, or I want to lose weight, or I want some kind of result. But the truth is, your bank account is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning and reading habits. And so it's actually, we think the thing that needs to change is the bank account or the test score or the number on the scale, but actually the thing that needs to change are the habits that precede those outcomes. Every action you take is kind of like a vote for the type of person you want to become. And if you can master the right actions, if you can master the right habits, then you can start to cast votes for this new identity, this desired person that you want to be. Doing one push-up does not transform your body, but it does cast a vote for being the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. The technical definition of a habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to be more or less automatic. So things that you can do pretty much without thinking about them. Unplugging your toaster after each use, or tying your shoes, or brushing your teeth. Things that you're pretty much just go on autopilot when you do them. Now, why does the brain build them? What role does it play? Well, as you go through life, you need energy to survive. And this is true not just for humans, but for all organisms need some kind of energy to survive. And getting energy requires energy. You need to eat food to be able to walk around and find the next meal.
Let's go, let's go. Good morning, familiar. Rise and shine. Another beautiful, blessed, and grateful day. Super excited to be on here with you guys. Where we at? We are Wednesday, middle of the week, 5:25. Ready to go ahead and give you a lot of value. Grand Rising, Horizon J, what's going on, familiar? So let's go ahead and get into the day. But before we dive into the atomic habits and what it takes to really understand the 4 steps, let's go ahead and drop some gratitude before we go ahead and get in. Grateful to be alive, grateful for God, grateful to be healthy. We got a little bit of jet lag from traveling a little bit this past month, but nonetheless, we're still feeling good. We're still feeling blessed and abundant, filled with deep joy and gratitude, with all the momentum flowing to and through each and every one of you. So let's go ahead and get into the day. Here we go. All right. Atomic habits. So for those of you that don't know, right, I want you to think about any successful creation, invention, brand, company that you guys look at. Believe it or not, there probably had to be some atomic habits that went into actually creating whatever it is that you guys see. So at the end of the day, I want you to go ahead and understand that our distractions and what we do well both fall into atomic habits. But the difference is one side is positive, one side is negative. So if you can learn to maximize this and use it to your advantage, now you're going to be able to create traction in your life instead of distraction, right? You know what's interesting? If you look at the word distraction, guess what the difference is? So if we have distraction and traction. So traction means what? When you have traction on the ground, okay, if your shoes have good traction when you're running, that means you're able to get a good grip and you're able to take a big leap, right? But let's say you have distraction. That means you don't have any traction. You're not able to connect. You're not able to actually get any force and presses off of it. So why do you think distractions take us away from our goals? Because we have no traction. It's taking away the traction from our success, right? From the individuals that we're becoming. So the goal is to take away the distractions so we can truly get more traction. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? The four levels, the 4 stages of atomic habits. And here it goes, okay? It goes as follows. You have what's called your cues, your craving, your response, and your reward. So every time that any of us get distracted, here's what most of us don't know. Believe it or not, we're actually flowing through one of these 4 things. So let's go ahead and think about it. Let's give an example. I was in college a couple of years back. So here's a perfect example. Let's say I'm in college. You guys are sitting at home. You're watching your Go Lives, right? You could be learning a skill set, and all of a sudden you get bored, right? Drop a 2 down below if you guys have ever gotten bored when you're doing something. Here's what you're going to learn, right? This is going to start to make a lot of sense. So imagine you're sitting there. The cue in your head when you're sitting there is you're feeling boredom. That's where the cue starts, okay? So you're feeling the feeling of boredom. The second thing that happens is you have what's called a craving. So you might be sitting there and you have your phone on silent, but you keep seeing the messages go off. So you have the feeling of being bored. Then you have the craving of actually picking up your phone to see, I wonder what these messages are. I wonder what this DM is I just got. I wonder who just liked my photo. So guess what happens next? So you go from the cue to the craving, and the third thing is going to be the response. The response is actually you grabbing your phone, picking it up, checking your messages, checking your email, checking everything that's going on, looking at all the negativity, scrolling through like you're normally used to doing. And now the fourth thing is your reward. Now you feel a little bit better because you've been able to take some time and distract yourself for whatever it is that you've been doing. Drop a 3 down below if you've ever been there. I'll go ahead and drop it myself because we've all done that, right? We've all been bored and done something similar. So here's what you need to think about. It works the same way if you want to do something positive, okay? Let's say we're sitting down right now, okay? And you have the cue and you go ahead and you look down at your body. So you have the cue that, you know what? I want to go ahead and I want to start today changing my body. I want to start eating better. I want to start looking better. I want to start feeling better. So watch how these 4 stages take place, right? Same thing. It's going to be the same exact steps, but now you're using it to your favor instead of having it work against you. So the cue, craving, response, reward. The cue. You have the cue. You say, you know what? I'm ready to actually do something different today. I'm ready to actually feel good instead of maybe eating meat all day and feeling lazy. That's your cue. You're craving. I think I'm craving, you know what? I'm craving a salad today. I'm craving a lot of fruits. I'm craving actually going out and making a smoothie and eating whole foods today. That's the craving. What's the response? Now you actually go to the grocery store and you spend that money to invest in yourself instead of going to eat fast food. Now the response, now the reward, you feel good. You're not going to feel lazy and lethargic after you go eat that salad, after you go drink that shake, after you actually go out and eat some whole foods. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel vibrant. You're going to feel alive. And now what happens? You're going to want to do it again because you've created a new habit. If you don't realize this by now, humans, we're all creatures of habit. The key is to be able to understand your habits, to double down on the right ones and to cut out the ones that aren't working out so well. So this is the 4 steps, but now that you understand the 4 steps, there's actually 4 parts that actually go into your behavior change as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to your piece of paper, and now you've got to make this come together. So now that you understand the 4 stages of habits, now you've got to understand the 4 levels of behavior change. Okay, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and you've got to be able to make it satisfying. So yes, it actually goes deeper, than you might think. So number 1, to make it obvious. So let's say, we're sitting down, you're looking at your body, you said, I'm ready to go ahead and make a change today, right? I'm ready to go and eat better. I'm ready to go ahead and feel better. So what is the first thing you need to do? You need to make it obvious. How can you do that? Set an alarm on your phone, right? At 12 o'clock, at 7 o'clock in the morning, at 6 o'clock, 5:55 in the morning, set an alarm and go ahead and give yourself a wake-up call so you can see it. That's the first thing. You've got to be able to make it obvious. If you don't have the alarm set, odds are you're probably not going to, you're probably going to skip it. You're not going to go. The second thing, you've got to be able to make it attractive. So to be honest, an alarm saying get your butt to the gym, that might not be attractive, but what will make it attractive? Give you something simple. How many of you guys like a good smoothie on a hot day? Go ahead and gift yourself with a smoothie before you actually even go. Write it down. Say, I'm going to go ahead and get myself a smoothie after I go. So that's number 2. Make it attractive. Number 3 is make it easy. Go ahead and the first day that you guys go work out, I don't want you to go in the gym and go bust your butt for 2 hours. You're probably going to be very sore for the next week and you're not going to want to go. So when you start something new, start small. You don't need to take a big change at the beginning and go ahead and make it very difficult for yourself. A 1,000-mile journey starts with single steps. And last but not least, make it satisfying, right? Be able to reward yourself. Something little. It doesn't have to be anything big, but learn to give yourself a reward for all the little things that you do. And that's going to give you the push to keep going. So when you eat better today, give yourself a reward. When you get on Go Live, give yourself a reward. If you haven't even made a live account to go ahead and trade, give yourself a reward when you actually go ahead and create the action. All of these little things is pieces of success that most wouldn't even think about, but believe it or not, it plays a role in day-to-day actions and all the habits that we take. So here's what I really paid attention to over this past weekend. You ready? There's a difference between two things, right? We have our potential and we have our reality. So most of the time, our thoughts are on our potential, or our thoughts are on our reality, but we haven't thought so big as to live in our potential. The truth is we are more than we are right now, just as we all heard it this morning. So you've got to be able to believe that. So why does Bob talk about it all the time? If your frequency is here and your goals are here, you've got to be able to match your frequency with where your goals are, and the world, the universe, God, whatever you believe in will work in harmony to go ahead and bring in the right people, place, and circumstances that's going to move in your favor in your life and for the people around you, for those that you love. So family, with that being said, that's my training for you guys today. Figure out one part of your life. What are your 5 pillars right now? And figure out how can you add atomic habits into each of your 5 pillars. How can you get 1% better with your family, 1% better with your mind, your finances, your society, right? And watch how these little changes lead to a massive change in your life. So I love you, family. If nobody told you today, I believe in you. You are powerful. And I truly believe you, just by adding in these atomic habits, you're going to be an entirely different person 90 days from now than we're sitting right here on 5/25/2022. So family, it's your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. You can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. Love you, family. Let's get to work. It's game time.